What is going on, Light Warriors? Man, I got a message for you guys today. Like, why do I love traveling so much? Like, why do I love traveling so much? There's many reasons why I love traveling so much. Okay, and the reason why is because it expands your imagination. It gets you to follow your intuition. Think about it. If you're in the same location all your life, then pretty much you can rely on your logical mind to, figure things out. It's like, I already know, like, this is my favorite restaurant, my favorite coffee shop, this is the place where I go for groceries. And you don't have to really, follow your intuition that much because you already know. Your mind already knows. You see what I'm saying? Your mind is associated with the known reality in your life, the physical, right? Whereas your intuition, it's in connection with your the spiritual aspect of yourself, or your higher self, your intuition. You see what I'm saying? So when you travel, it puts you in a place where, if you travel somewhere you've never been before, at least, it puts you in a place where you've never been there before. You've never been there before, so you must follow your intuition. You must ask questions. Sometimes you got to be spontaneous. And it gets you into a creative flow. Traveling puts you into a creative flow where you have to trust, and you have no other choice but to trust. And then at that point in time, you're in the present moment, all possibilities exist, and that is when the magic happens. This is why I love traveling. I love traveling. I love traveling. I love traveling. I recommend traveling. You see, there was a time in my life, let me hit this. Before I get into the story, guys, when it comes to the weed, like, and I'm gonna write this down because it's gonna help me guide it. When it comes to weed, guys, make sure we're all setting intentions. A lot of us here probably smoke weed, or we sometimes do. Right? So, and I used to be afraid to do that on camera because what people are gonna think is that politically correct. Oh, everyone smokes. Shut up. I'm in Colorado. Okay. Before I get into the story, guys, make sure you set intention. Not only with your weed, but with every action you take. Make sure you have an intention, a macro intention for your life. Like, this is my life purpose. Like, do you consciously know what your life purpose is? And do you subconsciously know what your life purpose is? See, I subconsciously know what my life purpose is. I don't have to think about it. I already know what my purpose is. Right? Do you know them? And if you don't know, I can help you find out. I can help you connect with your higher self. I can actually help you connect with your spirit guides, and you can learn about what your life purpose is. But anyway, getting into the story, right? Getting into the story is, you see, what's the word? Oh yeah, before I started traveling, that's right. So before I even started traveling, guys, I was a pizza delivery driver. Some of you may have heard the story. And I was a college dropout. I was staying at my parents' house. And I knew, like, I didn't know what I wanted. But what I did know is that I felt like I needed to travel to find out. You know what I mean? Like, because if you in a small town all the time, like, okay. If you are in a small town all the time, then you're not seeing that much outside of that box. You're in a little frame of reality. Like, this is my small town, this is where I live, this is what I do. And if you don't ever travel outside of town, then your mind is very limited, okay, just by your environment alone. Your mind is a product of your environment. Okay, so when you travel, here's the thing. This is why dream building is so powerful, guys. Traveling and dream building go hand in hand. Because when you travel, you're going to see new things. And when you see new things, you get more information to help you clarify what you want and what you don't want, so that you can focus on it. You see, because everything exists, yet we only experience what we are aware of and focus on. All right? We only experience what we are aware of and focus on. So when I was a pizza delivery driver, I was really only aware of, I went to South Carolina as a kid a lot. Hilton Head, Myrtle Beach, right? I went to those places quite a bit. So I knew about South Carolina. I knew about Tennessee. I knew about St. Louis. I knew about Fort Myers Beach in Florida. Like, those are like the only places I ever went as a kid. I went to a couple places, Wisconsin Dells, Great Wolf Lodge. Bro, I've been to a lot of amazing places as a kid growing up. So that really planted the seed in my mind. That's why I'm very thankful for my parents. My parents are amazing people. They really put me in a really great position to succeed, and I'm forever thankful for them. They show me things that I never knew about. Like, they taught me, like, basic things. Always kept me, always had clothes, always had nice clothes, always had a bed, always had food. So I'm very forever thankful for my parents, and they, took me on a yearly vacation pretty much my entire life. And man, I'm so thankful for my parents, man. God bless my parents, because they always made me feel safe and secure, like everything was gonna be okay. And I'm just so thankful for that. And my advice, if any of you guys weren't that blessed to have a family like that growing up, well, just know you are that blessed. Number one, just be the parent you never had. I know there's people like that, and maybe you think I can't relate, and maybe I can, but I encourage you guys today to just, whatever bullshit you went through growing up, whatever bullshit you had to go through just recently, just know, guys, that it's part of your blueprint. It's part of your story, okay? Because at some point in time, there'll be a version of you that tells a story that's gonna change thousands of people's lives, okay? There's a version of you that has that story. And the current version of you is going through that shit right now. So the future version of you can tell that story, okay? And you gotta be okay with that. You gotta know that, look, there's gonna be green grass on the other side. Like, you're gonna get out of this. You see what I'm saying? Whatever you're going through right now, your current situation is not your final destination. If you get a chance to travel, do it, okay? And if you don't get a chance, create it, manifest it, imagine it before it happens. If you want to travel, get a little bit more specific. You see, when I was a pizza delivery driver staying at my parents' house, I didn't just say I wanted to travel. I wrote down a list of all the places that I was going to travel. Okay, this is where it gets key, right? I didn't just say, oh, I want to travel. You know what I did? Like I said, I wrote down Colorado, I wrote down California, New York City, Miami. I wrote down all these places. A few of them I haven't been to yet. But guys, I wrote down a list of probably 50 places or 30 places. What was it, like 30? I think it was like 40 places. Let's just say 40. Whatever the number was. But let's say it was like 40 places I wrote down. And to this day, I've been to like 30 of those 40 places, right? There's a couple places overseas I haven't been to, like Hawaii, and a couple, what other ones were on that list, I wonder? Probably like Australia, Hawaii. See, Australia's got some bullshit going on right now. So I am definitely not going there. But anyway, I don't even think I could. But that's besides the point right now, right? Besides the point. I wrote down all the places that I wanted to go. I wrote down the Grand Canyon. I wrote down New York City. I've never been to either of those places. I wrote down LA. I wrote down Miami. I wrote down, man. And guys, I ended up manifesting a situation where I got to go to those places. And not only did I get to go to those places, I was speaking at events at those places. And I was impacting other people's lives. You see, you have a story to tell. And whether you already have a story or you have multiple stories to tell that you can tell up to this point right now, you're probably going through something that will be a story you tell in the future, right? And that's just what happens. And here's the thing, guys. The worse your situation is, the better the story is going to be when you get on the other side. Guys, I've had time in my life where I didn't know where I was going to get my next meal. I had times in my life where I was so afraid of money that I was afraid to make it because I thought I'd lose it again. Because I had experienced this time in my life where I made a lot of money and I didn't manage it well. I didn't manage it correctly. I just wasted it all. I wasted it all away. I gave it to this people. I mean, there's countless people. I mean, there's probably a dozen people that I gave personally, whether it was a few hundred or even a few $1,000s. Dozens, right? So I've been on that side on the spectrum where I have hella extra money to give to everyone. And I've also been on the side of the spectrum where I don't even have enough money to eat tonight. I guess I'm gonna fast, right? And then people would ask me, you know, what did you eat for lunch today? And I would be like, I'm fasting. And I would just say I'm fasting. Cover up, right? Cover up. I've had times, guys, where I went to the gas station. And I couldn't fill up the whole tank. I had to just put $5 in or $10 in. I know some of you guys are right there right now. You're going through something similar where it's like, dude, it's tight right now. Like, everything's really tight. You got to be really, like, what am I going to spend this $10 on? Like, I got to be smart. Okay? I know some of you are there, or you can relate. You've been there before. I encourage you to set the intention today. Number one, that there will be a time in the future where you no longer have to worry about money. There will be a time in the future when you can do whatever you want. There will be a time in the future where there are no limitations on what you can create. You are free to do whatever you want, whenever you want. I believe it and I declare it that you are worthy of it, regardless of what's happening to you right now, regardless of the pain, regardless of the headaches you're going through, the confusion, the frustration, the anxiety, the depression, all the things that you're going through right now that appear as if they're going to stop you from getting to that next step. Just realize this, guys. Focus on your dreams, not the how. Focus on not how things are, but as how you would like them to be. You are the creator of your reality. You are not your thoughts, you are the presence experiencing it. Take care of the present moment and the future will take care of itself. You see, because the future is nothing more than a continuation of present moments. I believe in you. I know you can do it. I know you can. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, you can book a call below. You can drop a comment. What is something that you're going through right now? What's a question you have? What's a question you have? What's a problem that you are experiencing that I can help you solve? Let me know what it is. What type of videos would you like me to create? What type of topics would you like me to go over? What type of things would you like me to elaborate on? What would you like more of? Would you like to learn how to manifest your reality? Would you like to learn how can I travel the world? I want to travel, right? Over these last 3 years, guys, ever since I dropped out of my job, dropped out of college and left my job, that was about 2.5 years ago. In these last 2.5 years, I've been blessed. Guys, I've been able to go to, almost 40 states, travel the entire country, right? The only places I haven't been is really high northeast and really far northwest. So the only two places I haven't been, well, I guess in the North Dakota, South Dakota, there's like 10 states, right? Hawaii, Alaska, something like that. And then I've been blessed to even go internationally. Guys, I've been to the islands in the Caribbean. I've been to Iceland. I've been to Netherlands, United Kingdom, all within this last 2.5 years, places I've never been before. And I know that if you would like to do that, it is possible. It's not only possible, it's probable. Because, and here's why, I'm gonna tell you why. Because whatever you want wants you. It already exists within your own DNA, but you must choose it. See, a lot of times we're worried about the future. We don't know what's gonna happen next. And we're confused, we're doubting ourselves, and we're impatient. And the reason why is because we don't, either A, we don't really know what we want, or B, because we're too focused on how we're gonna get there. Or, well, this current situation, just look at all these problems right now. Look at all these things I'm going through right now. How could I possibly stay focused on what I want? Look, there's always distractions, the people in my life, there's this. Well, the first thing you gotta do is just focus on, guess what? Your dreams, not the how. Guess what you gotta do? You gotta use your words wisely. A lot of times, you just think there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. No matter what anyone labels you as, right? Abuse, physical, mental, emotional, psychic warfare, right? People are psychic attacking you. Guys, I had to go through hell of psychic attack. When I'm sitting there in a room, afraid to speak my goals into existence because I'm afraid, well, what if they're gonna hear me? Like, how much hell of that I had to go through. Well, you don't have the money for that. Why would you say that? Bots. Okay, bots. I love everyone. I'm not gonna degrade anyone based off their level of consciousness. We're all at a different place in our journey. That's not the point. The point is sometimes you got to be willing to ignore the people in your life that are causing you headaches, that are creating anxiety in your mind, people that are frustrating you, that are annoying you, that are distracting you. Get them out of your life, okay? And so long that you can't get them out of your life, find a way to be grateful for them. Find a way to see the gold in the situation. Find a way to provide proper perspective on what's happening in your life. Can you look at what's happening to you right now and say, look, this isn't happening to me, it's happening for me, okay? This is all happening for my greater good. This right now that I'm going through, my test will soon become my testimony. My pain right now will be a part of the story I tell, right? When I make it on the other side. Are you willing to look at it from that point of view? Because that's what you must do. You must look at it like that. What you're going through right now is temporary. It will pass. But where will you go next? You're gonna create it. You have the power. I'm passing you the torch right now. I'm giving you the magic wand. Goddamn Harry Potter Dumbledore shit. Here's the wand. What do you want? Boom. right? Timmy Turner, Fairly Odd Parents, guys. These shows, sci-fi yesterday is science factor today. We are mucking magicians. We are wizards of our reality. You can create anything you want. You understand this? What are you seeing? What are you hearing? And what are you speaking? You are creating everything in your life anyway. The law of success states, or not the law of success, the strangest secret in the world, Earl Nightingale, is we become what we think about most of the time. The strangest secret. The science of getting rich. You see, the money doesn't give you the attitude. The attitude gives you the money. Teach yourself. Teach yourself. Right? One of the best ways to learn new information is to teach it to yourself. Okay? And what I've found is anytime that I'm traveling, I learn things much quicker. It's like I'm a sponge. It's like for some reason, I just get more of the experience. Like I could be reading the same books. I could be listening to the same audios. I could be talking to the same people. But since I'm in a different environment, my mental environment has changed. Okay, which means my vibration has changed, which means I will perceive things in a different way. Does that make sense? I'll perceive things in a different way. Based off of, and here's why traveling is so powerful, because it changes your DNA. All right, it changes you vibrationally. What does it do? It changes your vibration. When you fly across the world, okay, your body is getting physical changes to its DNA because the atmosphere is different, the environment's different. You went to a new place, it produced new images in your mind, feelings in your body. It's something you never experienced before. It's creating new neural pathways and connections in your brain. That's connecting to the dots that you already are within, which is everything you've currently experienced up until this point. Right? So travel. Manifest yourself in a situation where you're traveling. Manifest yourself in a situation where you're traveling. That's everything. Traveling. This is why traveling is key. Right? What I learned in the last 2.5 years from traveling is that, you see, in the mind, in our programming, in our culture, we're a little bit different in how we like to do things. Some people like to, let's say, for example, right, in my experience, when I'm down here in the southern areas of the United States, there's a little bit more Spanish-speaking United States citizens, right? There's some people that prefer meat. There's some people that prefer cheese. Sometimes there's areas where people are more vegan. Sometimes there's areas where people are more spiritual. Sometimes there's areas where people are more religious, right? These are just labels, right? And sometimes there are people that wear certain types of clothes wherever you travel. Like some people will dress a certain way. There's different cultures and fads. You see what I'm saying? And traveling will expand your mind to what's actually possible out there and what do you actually really want. Okay? Because if you've only been in the same town your whole life, I would make your first goal. If I were you, I would make your first goal to travel. Say my first goal is I'm gonna travel wherever I want to travel. That was my first goal. That's all I wanted. It's like travel. I just want to travel. That's it. Travel. Why travel? We've had 18 minutes on this goddamn video. If you still asking why travel, because it's fun. Okay, it's fun. It gets you out your comfort zone. Spontaneity is a really good thing. I think it's a really good thing because here's why. You get to have fun in the moment without having to worry about, like, you can plan things out and you can have a really strict schedule on there. But I like mixing things up because now is one thing, if you're doing a lot of research ahead of time, which I recommend you could do that and get to know the area as well. But you already know what you want to do, but also be open to the fact that a local is probably going to recommend something to you that you didn't even know about from Googling it, right? Depending on how much research you do, of course. But that's what you can do. Write down the places you're going to travel and then start to look at, and this is what I still do to this day, right? This is what I was doing and I'm still doing to this day. This is because it works, okay? Is not only say, hey, universe, my goal is to travel. Okay, it's very vague. It's very general. Okay, where you want to travel? Okay, for example, right? I just recently manifested experiencing Boulder in the Rocky Mountains. Okay, I just recently experiencing Sarasota, Florida, right? And what did I do for both of those experiences of traveling, right? This is what I did, and this is what you can do. Research the area that you would like to travel and make a list of things you're going to do when you get there. It doesn't matter if you have the money or not. It doesn't matter. It does not matter, because here's why. When you are researching things online and looking at pictures and watching videos and calling people that are already there and asking them what it's like, okay, you're getting to know what the feeling of already being there is like. So you can produce that feeling in your body, okay? So you can produce a feeling in your body so that you can know what it feels like, and therefore you'll create it. Okay, traveling is key. I've had many times, guys, I didn't have the money to go to either of those places when I wrote it down. Right? Same thing last year. Or was it last year? Even when I went to London. Right? Even though I had already experienced, I made a lot of this money. Like I said, I made 6 figures online very quickly. But then what happened was I did not manage it correctly. So I lost the money. I spent it. I got rid of it. So then now, in that situation, I was in an experience where I was having a lot of debt. I'm still paying off debts to this day. I got myself in a huge hole with debt. Okay, a lot of you guys, maybe you're there right now as well. Okay, and I was at that point in time where I was about to go, I wanted to go to London. But in all honesty, I didn't really have the money to do all that. You see what I'm saying? Like, I had some income coming in, but I also had a lot of bills. Coming in. I also had a lot of debts that I was paying off. I was credit cards. I was maxing out my credit cards, guys. Like, and what I did was I said, fuck it. It's gonna work. And it just turned out that I was able to go to London. It just turned out that I was able to go to Iceland as well. Something else that I manifested. I was looking at the Blue Lagoon, right? I remember, guys, early 2019, me and my future roommates, what we said was, this is what we said. We said, you know what? We're gonna go to Iceland. And at that point in time, it was way out there. I mean, we had no money yet. We had not made any money. And we said, we're going to go to Iceland. And at this point in time, I mean, I had saved up for years of working at pizza delivery and mowing lawns. So I had a few $1,000s saved up. I could probably just go if I wanted to. And we went through this experience where we were traveling around, barely having the money, knowing that by us traveling, in mastermind together, we will figure out a way to where we have the money. Okay, we don't know how it's gonna happen. We just said, look, we're all in a situation right now. We're with our parents. We're in our old environment, old jobs, old coworkers, old everything. How do we get something new? Let's come together. Let's come together and create something new. Okay, and that's exactly what we did. And then even though it didn't happen to another year after that, year and a half after that, I went to Iceland. I went to the Blue Lagoon. I went to the resort, right? I felt what it felt like to be a king. Maybe I didn't have all the money yet. Maybe I was in debt. Maybe I put it on my credit card. But guess what? I still did that shit. And that's all that matters, guys. Like, you never regret the things that you do more so than you regret the things that you don't do. I don't give a fuck if you have to put it on the credit card. I don't give a fuck if you take a loan, guys. Travel, bro. Like, who gives a fuck? No one cares. Like, you're not... At one point in time, I was traveling. Initially, I thought that if I was traveling, then people would think that means I'm successful. Right? At one point in time, that was a belief I held. Now, at this point in time, in my own awareness, I'm not traveling for other people. I'm traveling for myself. You see what I'm saying? I'm traveling for my own enjoyment, not so that I can look a certain way. And there was perhaps a part of my shadow where I wasn't fully authentic in what my results were. You see what I'm saying? And that is something that I've been working through. How to word things in a way where I'm being completely authentic and telling the story of how it was from my perspective. But just know, guys, anything is possible. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to travel? I've shared quite a bit on this call, on this video, right now, in a vulnerable way that probably haven't even shared a story like this before. But hopefully it encourages you guys right now to set a goal for yourself. Like, what do you want? Like, you can do it. You don't have to know how. Okay? Before I even dropped out of college, I'm going to tell you how I even got to the point where I manifested the opportunity to even get some type of income online. You see what I'm saying? What I did was, I wrote down, and at that point in time in my life, I wasn't manifesting necessarily. I had goals for basketball, but I never thought about business goals. And then I was starting to think about business. I was like, okay, what do I do for my profession? What do I do for my career? And then I said, you know what? Maybe I wanted to work as, exercise science, kinesiologist, chiropractor. Maybe that's a good backup. But I was thinking, I was like, but what do I really want to do? And I said, you know what? I don't know. I said, you know what I do want to do? I want to travel and just experience whatever the world has to offer, because I know there's something out there that I don't know about. I knew there's some secret that I got to find, whatever that is. I just felt like there was something to this universe. I just felt like sometimes when I would get into a flow state, I would make every shot. And there's got to be like something behind that. Like, how does that work? Like, I knew like when I got into a good habit, it would just be easy and automatic. I knew like there's got to be some secrets to life. There's got to be some like secrets to success. Like, what is the secret? Like, what is it? And then as I was thinking about that, as I was reading How to Influence and Influence People, as I was reading Think and Grow Rich, then guess what happens? Something comes into my lap, right? Something comes into my lap. What's this called? Right? I got introduced to entrepreneurship, into online, into Forex, in network marketing. Right? I got introduced to a way, a strategy, a plan for me to travel the world and not need a job. You see what I'm saying? It came into my awareness after I had produced the thought into the field. So first, for you to receive, you can't just hope and wish and hope it comes in, but set your intentions clear and say, you know what? I'm going to do it. I don't know how, I just know I'm going to do it. If I don't know how right now, that's fine. I'll figure it out. Or something will come my way. Or I do some research. It's real simple right now. I'd never really occurred to me this is how it worked. I mean, think about it, it's common sense. You want to do something? Okay, research. Who's already doing it? What are they doing? Observe and model yourself after them. Like that shit, you would think that's common sense. For me, that is common sense. Maybe that is for you or not. I don't know. Observe and model yourself after someone who's already doing what it is that you would like to do. Okay? Right, so there was a point in time in my life where I was afraid to do my first public speech. Right? I was afraid. I didn't know what was going to happen. Okay? We're planning out a tour right now. We'll drop the dates as soon as we have them. Guys, it's been a while since I've even done a public speech. I want to say probably months now. A long time. And you see, there was a point in time before I even started public speaking at all where I was afraid to talk to one person that I didn't know on the phone, let alone in front of them person to person. I'd have to look you in the eye, face to face, and have a conversation. That's like the weirdest thing for me ever. What do you mean? How could I possibly look you in the eye and have a conversation? Am I blinking? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I would be so weird. What about my hands? What am I gonna? I was so nervous and shy. Right? A lot of it had to do, I think, with my addiction to porn. Right? It's sometimes hard to look at people in the eye when you on porn. Like, I'm just being honest, bro. Like, and some of you know what I'm talking about. For whatever reason that may be, but besides the point, I was feeling inferior. I was feeling insecure. But what I had to come to the realization of was this. I had to realize that, listen, Jordan, if you don't do anything different, then nothing will ever change, okay? If you do something right now, how you've always done it, you're going to get the same result as you've always gotten. Does that make sense? How could you possibly do the same thing over and over and get a different result? It's not going to happen. Okay, so what can you do right now to trick your subconscious mind into believing that your goal has already happened? Okay? And then I said, okay, you know what? If I'm setting down my goal as Chairman 10, if I'm setting down my goal as six-figure trader, right? That's what my goal is. If that's what my goal is. If I set that as my goal, what can I do right now, today, and every day to get my subconscious mind to believe that it's already happened? Okay, I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to wake up early every morning, and I'm going to trade every day. Okay, you know what? I'm going to follow my trading plan. You know, right now, I don't really feel like following a trading plan, but guess what? The future version of me is making six-figure trading. He's following a trading plan. So I said, okay, I'm going to follow a trading plan. And then I started following a trading plan. Okay, I'm applying to 1,000 right now. I'm making $1,000 a month, right, in the business, right, residually. And I said, okay, for me to go Chairman 10, that means I have, 500 customers. Okay, so even though I only have 30 or 50, what will the version of me that's 500 customers act like? How will I speak? How much conviction will I have in my voice? What type of lessons will I teach? What type of things will I do on a day-to-day basis? How many calls am I going to make? How many webinars am I going to do? How many events am I going to run when I'm Chairman 10? Not right now, based off of where I am. A lot of times what we do is, even though we have a goal, a lot of times we take action based off of who we are in the past instead of who we are in the future. That's the key component difference. Right? For those of you who don't know, I hit both those goals in less than a year of setting them. Okay? 6 figures from trading and 6 figures in network marketing. I've created that. Documented proof. I've created 6 figures in trading and 6 figures in network marketing. Okay? I've currently done that. And I've also traveled the world. Traveled to over 40 different states, or 35, the exact numbers, I don't even know. But somewhere in that 30 to 40 range. And then countries-wise, I've been to 3 in this last 2.5 years, and then like 7 in my life, or something like that. It's a guess. I guess I could go look. The key here is understanding this. You got to do something different right now than you were doing yesterday. Okay? You got to be willing to take full responsibility of everything in your life. And when you do that and say, look, what I'm currently experiencing, I no longer want that. Okay, what do I want? Okay, now I understand how it is. Maybe you don't know what you want. Maybe you just know what you don't want. Sometimes a spiritual awakening begins when you start to experience things that you don't want. When you start to experience all the things that are happening to you, and all the, your parents or your coworker, your job, they want you to do this, they want you to do that, and then you're just like, okay, I'm tired of this, I'm stressed out, I don't want to do this anymore, but what do I do? Like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And then finally you're like, okay, you know what? This is what I want. This is what I want. Okay, I'm going to do it. That's it, period. I'm going to do it, period. I'm going to do it. That's it, period. It doesn't matter what the circumstances say. It doesn't matter what the facts say. I don't know how, but I know that everything will work out fine. Everything is working out for my good. Can you speak that right now, regardless of what your situation looks like? Can you speak that right now? It's a magical phrase. I don't know how, but I know that everything will work out fine. Say it every day. Say it all day. Speak it out loud with your mouth right now. I'm lucky. I'm lucky. Everything always works out for me. I'm blessed. Wow, good things always happen. Wow, how thankful I am. Wow, how much I appreciate this. Wow, thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, what am I thankful for? Wow, I'm thankful that, I have the opportunity to make money. I'm thankful that I have access to information. I'm thankful that I have amazing people in my life. I have food to eat, a place to stay, a bed to sleep in. I have the ability to do whatever I want, whenever I want. Wow, how could I feel a little bit better? I could go for a walk. I could read a book. I could call someone. It's going to stimulate my mind. I could read a book. Who knows? There's so many things I could do to feel better. Focus on what makes you feel good. Okay? Do what makes you feel good, primarily. Guys, and I'm going to end it off like this. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, drop a comment below. Alternatively and primarily, I prefer you go ahead and message me on Instagram. Instagram is @Teachings of Alicus. Send me a messages. Send me a message. And if you could, tell me exactly what your situation is and what you would like it to look like. Give me some type of basic information. You can also fill out the form when you book your free 15-minute one-on-one call. Okay? And if you would like more than 15 minutes, you can either A, get access to the 6-week program, you could get access to the 12-week program, or you could pay on a call-by-call basis. Obviously, you're going to get a better value and a better deal if you get the program, and that will give me more of a guarantee of getting you your result, given that you follow the directions that I give you. Whereas the one-on-one call basis, it's more of like a temporary fix. It's like a temporary motivation. And sometimes, guys, that 1 hour call may be all you need. That may be all you need. It just depends on you and your own situation. So with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. Give a like. If you stayed all the way to the end, drop a comment below, said I watched this whole thing. Like, I literally watched this entire thing, Jordan. Like, are you kidding me? You got me hooked for this entire video. I'm going to go travel now. Like, if that's you right now and you're like, I'm going to travel, just say it right now. Drop it in the comments. Affirm it. Speak things right now as you would like them to be. Don't say, I will travel in the future. Say, I am traveling whenever I want. I travel whenever I want. I have the freedom to travel whenever I want. Guys, I've used that exact phrase and it works. I have the freedom to travel whenever I want. I have the freedom to travel whenever I want. Can you get your subconscious mind to speak that phrase to you without you having to consciously say it or write it down? Can you get your thought pattern to automatically come in? Guys, I teach you how to do that. Like, you're like, bro, what? How do I do that? What if your automatic thought was a good thought? What if your automatic thought was, I'm lucky? And you didn't even have to try to think that. Like, you can do that, and I can teach you how. Where you don't have to worry anymore. You don't have to be afraid of the future because you can just focus on what you want. Not all the rules and regulations of how it must happen. universe, this is what I want. And guess what? But it's here in this box. You gotta fit it in this box, and that's the only way it's gonna work. Because I have to do it this way. Because this is the way my ego thinks, because my ego knows best, because it hasn't even done it before, but somehow thinks it knows how to do it, which makes no sense. But for some reason, that's the way our ego works. Okay? Focus on your dreams, not the how. Drop a comment below, like, subscribe, hit the bell for more videos like this. Send me a message on Instagram right now, Teachings of Alex, and get your one-on-one call today.